Any doctor will tell you that if you're worried about cognitive loss and the threat of dementia, you need to get some exercise. It's just that Dr. Wendy Suzuki is more vocal than most. She's the author of the book, Healthy Brains, Happy Life, and she speaks all over the country about exercise and brain health. She once told me that the question she gets all the time is, what's the least amount of exercise I can do and still get the benefit? The answer has always been, we don't know. But recent research is suggesting an answer, and it's looking like pretty good news for people who hate exercise. Hi, I'm Tony Deering of GoCogno.com, the website for people with mild cognitive impairment. There are a lot of things you could and probably should do to protect yourself from cognitive decline, but in recent years, exercise has risen to the top of the list. Here's what two of the leading brain health experts in the world have told me. Dr. Anders Hansen says, it's not controversial to say the single most important thing a patient with MCI can do to slow the disease is physical activity, preferably a walk. And Dr. Richard Isaacson says, if there is one thing you can do today, right now, exercise is literally the only thing someone can do to reduce amyloid in the brain. But picture this. Imagine you went to the doctor who prescribed you a medicine but didn't say how many pills you should take. So you ask, and the doctor says, I don't know, take a handful. It'll probably be good for you. That's more or less where we've been with exercise. We know that exercise is medicine for the brain, but we don't know what the correct dose is. We don't know specifically what kind of exercise to recommend or how much you should do. But we're starting to figure it out. And guess what? It's less exercise than you might expect, but you've got to stick with it. That's what we've learned from a meta-analysis just published in the journal Neurology Clinical Practice. Researchers reviewed almost 100 studies involving exercise and cognition. These studies involved more than 11,000 people, a significant number of whom had mild cognitive impairment. They looked at the types of exercise people did, the intensity, how long they exercised, and how frequently. Really, there were two key findings. The first is that just about any type of exercise can improve cognition. Not just aerobic activity, but also weightlifting or mind-body exercises like yoga or Tai Chi. That means that you don't have to plod along on a treadmill or walk laps around a gymnasium if that's not your thing. You're free to find a type of physical activity that you actually enjoy, and that's better for you because you're more likely to keep with it. The second key finding is what I just said. You have to keep with it. The researchers found there wasn't some magic number of minutes a week you need to exercise. Instead, what seems to work is regular physical activity done over a longer period of time. The optimum they found was about 52 hours of physical activity over a period of 6 months. Now, if you do the math, that works out to an average of less than 2 hours of exercise a week, which is really not a lot. You can do that, but you have to continue to do it for a minimum of 6 months. Two things to be clear about here. First, this is not the definitive answer. More research is needed, and that research is going on right now. The other thing to keep in mind is that exercise is part of the answer, but it's not the whole answer. Where we are starting to see real success in helping people with mild cognitive impairment potentially slow or halt that cognitive decline, it's been with a holistic approach that combines exercise with other brain healthy habits, including proper diet, getting a good night's sleep, managing blood pressure and cholesterol, cognitive and social stimulation, and stress reduction. But I end today where I began. Don't be sedentary. Get your body moving. I hope that this information has inspired you and maybe even given you a few ideas. If you're not the type that enjoys going to the gym, what do you do instead? Tell me in a comment below. Thanks for joining me today. I'll see you again next week. Until then, as always, be kind to your mind.